Sup guys, how you doing? TheOdie here, and we are finally gonna get into actually making an RPG puzzle horror game. So to start things off, I want us to look at the start map. So just head on over here, hit start, and check this out. It's blank, right? Well, allow me to explain you what this map is. If you ever play an RPG Maker game and it flashed a map for a quick instant once you hit new game and then it went to black, well, that's the reason why it does it. It's because they start the game on an actual map, and even though they put tint screen to black, it still takes at least one frame to get to that color, or to that tint rather, and make the screen black. So because of that, the best option to avoid that is if we go to our database, head on over to System, look for our actors, and delete it all empty. Okay? Hit OK. And then create an empty map. Doesn't matter what it is, it's empty. You would right click, hit set starting position, and then the player. However, this teal colored square represents where our player will start at, and the picture that will show, or the graphic that will show, should be empty. This implies that there's no party members at the start of our game. So by default, the screen will be black, and it's really nice. And what's also cool about this screen is that if we ever want to have any sort of, I guess, delay from start screen to the start of the game, this is where we would have it, by having the wait feature, however long you want it for, as well as if you have any like forewarning, like this game will autosave or whatever, this is also a great time to put this in. As well as if you want to name your character or anything of the likes, you know? It gets all the, it's basically your loading screen, your first initial game loading screen. That's what it is. Alrighty. So let's OK that out. And yes, it will be empty. We could change the name to start if you want. Don't have to. We'll call it start. And of course, we'll want to run it on parallel process. However, where exactly, on auto run, because we want it to be the only thing ready. And it's the only map. Could go on parallel, doesn't matter, but we'll have it on auto run, just for good practice. So we wanted to head into here, school in town, or opening. This is where we will show our title card. If you guys know anything about editing videos or making movies, this would be called B-roll. It's a way of showing the setting to give the player or the audience an idea of what the setting is. So we're going to have them situated here. As to where, well, on this map, what exactly do we want to do? We want to show the title card, and then we want to let's have people walking around, jumping around. It's the beginning of school. That's what we have, at least in our template, our document. Also in the screen, let's show the main character. And let's, to give this little title card a little bit more life, let's have a bus that stops here, and then kids will get out, and the bus will move on off screen over here. Okay? So, for starters, we want to go back to start. Have our player transferred over to this map. Now, we gotta decide where to transfer them, and the reason for that is once this will be the opening scene, the first thing the player will look at. And we know we want to scroll our map, and we'll have it scroll from left to right, however we want to center it correctly. This is something you would do in practice, aka trial and error, just to see and pick many different locations until you find one that you like. However, I already found one that I like, and the one I like the best is right over here. Okay. We will get rid of our fade because we're customly doing this ourselves. And direction facing won't matter because the person's invisible. Okay. Hit apply. Now, before we teleport straight into the map and have things already circulating, we first want to tint the screen to make sure it's black. This way we have that fade into our title card. Otherwise, if you just do this here, then it will just be black screen and then 1 frame second the title map. And that's weird. It's confusing to our eyes. So we'll have tint screen, oopsies, tint screen, put it to black, and we'll have it done in 1 frame. The reason for that is because this thing here is already black. So what's putting black on top of black? You don't see it at all. And that's why this is allowed. Now before we actually transfer them, I want to have this brief pause between title screen and actual gameplay. So I'm going to put 1 second. 1 second before the teleportation. And I'm okay with that because we're going to have a slow fade into our title screen, okay? So let's head on over to School in Town. And we know that we're situated right here. And what we want to do is scroll the map over to the right. So we're going to have a bus here. And it's going to move on to this way after kids gets out as the map scrolls on over to the right. So how will we do that? The answer is rather simple. First, we're going to need to make our bus. And I'm going to have them start right about here. So we'll click this, look for where our bus is. Our bus, believe it or not, is part of a tile set. And this tile is actually broken up into 4 pieces. So because of that, we actually have to create 4 tiles, each close to each other and relative to what part of the bus it is. So this is the lower right side of the bus, so I would call it LR bus. So remember that this is just an image, and because of that, it's not actually going to do anything. We're going to have one event that controls everything that goes on. It'll scroll the map, it'll move the bus, and it'll get kids to get off the bus. Okay? So because of that, this is allowed to be empty everywhere else. Cool? You guys get that? Make sense? So let's complete this bus. Control copy, control paste, change the image. This will be the lower left side of the bus. Lower left, LL. Hold control with your pinky, hit enter with your other hand. Automatically applies and okays out of the event. Hit control copy, control C, control V. Double click these. Top left. We'll call this upper left of bus. Control copy, control V, and upper right. Control enter. The reason why I keep saying these shortcuts is because I want you guys to get into that motion, just because it'll allow you to program faster, and once your mind is set on an idea, you don't want to lose it, nor do you want to lose that motivation. So you want to get all the technical applications out of the way as soon as possible so you can stay immersed in your own programming. Okay, so now that we have our bus, what else do we need? We want students to get off this bus, so let's make a few blank events. We'll call this, doesn't matter here, just student 1, student 2, student 3. How many should we get? Should we get 4 students? Yeah, let's have 4 students. Okay, student 2, student 3, hit enter, student 4, control enter. Okay, so that was done rather fast, and allow me to explain that. So you highlight the event, hit enter, the name is automatically highlighted, so all I had to do is hit right once, backspace, the number, control, pinky and control, any fingers hitting enter. Control S to save. Okay, I'll admit that this is rather fast paced, but you will also get used to those shortcut keys, and once you do, it'll be absolutely wonderful. Okay, so now we want something to control everything that's going on. Well, okay, so we got our bus, we got our students. Now, I actually want to have the main character seen somewhere, and I think what I'm gonna do is, first the kids will get off the bus, the kids will go this way, and because these kids are in motion, our eyes are now directed to the kids, and I want the main character to be seen. So, since the eyes are now in attention to these 4 students getting off the bus, I'll have the student here moving on up to this classroom. Okay, so we'll have him here. You can also have him there, doesn't matter, but I'll prefer it there. And his name is Eric, our main character. Control S, save. Alrighty. So we can make our master event wherever we want, where our master event is decided by what controls everything that goes on in this map. Okay, so my preference is to toss it in any of these corners. And to be honest, it's all personal preference. It doesn't matter. As long as this event is out of the way of any of the other events that process and moves, then you're completely and totally fine. I just like putting it in a corner. You guys could put it anywhere else. I'll call this start. The reason I call this start is because this will automatically start once you enter the map. Okay, so obviously we want this on auto run. And the reason for that is because we want all the parallel events to run by themselves, and we do not want the main character to move at all. So that's a key thing here. We do not want the main character to move at all. So, and therefore, it's on auto run. So what goes on in our event? Okay, well, let's think about it again. So I want to start off by giving the player an idea of the setting. This, again, is all personal preference. And my preference is to give them, hey, guess what? You're in the year 1991. So, because of that, we'll have summer of 1991. And then if you were to highlight this, you'll see all these different commands and events. I want this text box to automatically play, run, and then close by itself without the player having to press a single button. So what do we see here? At the very, very bottom, sorry, my thing was cut off. If you look at the very, very bottom, you'll see do not wait for input after displaying text. So what that means is once the text finishes displaying, it'll automatically close. That's what we want. However, we want to give the player an amount of time to be able to read this. So what should we do? We'll want a wait command, because remember that last one says it'll automatically close after it finishes displaying. So let's wait roughly, what do you think the speed of reading is? Let's put a second. This is 1 second. As you can tell, it is the fifth one from the bottom. Wait 1 second. So we'll have that going on there. And I do want to center this into the middle of the screen. We'll hit preview just to check it out. Maybe a little more space. And yeah, that's pretty good. So, okay. And since this is a cutscene, we want to dim it. Either dim or transparent. I'm going to go with dim. And I think I want this in the middle of the screen. I'll do the top. So right now, remember, because of what we did in start, the screen is still currently dark. It's black. So once we go here, it will first display this, and it'll be black. Okay? The screen will be black, and the text will appear. And I think what I'm going to do first is wait out a little bit. So there we go. Now we're waiting for 1 1/4 seconds for this to appear. Hit preview to see how it centers out, and it looks pretty good to me. Okay, hit enter, apply. So now we got our first text. I want some music to happen. Give it some more life. And the music I'm going to go with is Town? Yep, I'm gonna go with Town. I kinda like Town. You guys like Town? Play in the background for yourself. I usually do. To be honest, I like to play music as I do what I'm doing to help inspire me or stay immersed into what's going on in the scene. So yeah. So we got our text, we got our music playing, and now I want to wait before everything becomes visible. So that way you get, oh yeah, you hear this music. And then it slowly fades into a scrolling map. Alrighty, so let's wait for like 1 second. We'll get 1 second into the song, and then things will start going in motion. Cool. So we got our first setting text, we got our music, and now I want to fade in, but I want to fade into already scrolling. So we'll double click here, look for where scroll map is. Should be somewhere here. Scroll map, here it is, movement. Okay, we're gonna go right, and I want to move slow as possible. In the distance, well, we want to make it to the end of the map because we're gonna fade out while it still scrolls. So you could pick any random high number, 30, whatever. As long as it makes it to the end, it's okay. You can even put 1,000 if you want. I'll put 30 just because I don't like getting over ambiguous. So we got a scroll going on, and let's have the map scroll a little bit before actually fading in. So let's wait again. I'm gonna put 90 frames, that's 1.5 seconds. And then let's give this town a little bit more life. Let's add a background sound. City. Sounds pretty good. That's pretty good. However, it gets really noisy, and I don't want it to overpower the background music. So I'm gonna lower it down to 15-ish. And now what do I want? Let's wait a little bit more before we actually start tinting into the game. And now that that's all set and ready to go, let's actually tint into our game. We got our music going on, the map is scrolling, we're gonna fade into a nice, beautiful scrolling map with music and sounds. Oh my god. I'm kidding. Okay, so tint screen. We want it back to normal, and let's have this done for, let's go 4 seconds. Take 4 seconds to get back into this normal tint. So, 60 times 4, 240. Wait for completion? No. Just because we want the next events to run while everything is processing. So, what's next? Let's wait again, because the next thing we want to show is the bus. I already know that it's going to take 540 frames to get to that bus, or to a spot that I like. So 540 is what it will be. Alternatively, you can check this off for wait for completion, and then accommodate with this. So then this would be instead 300. It's the same thing. Okay, so now just to double check, let's see where we're at right now. So we're going to show a text, and we're just going to say made by TheOdie. You can put whatever you want. I'm TheOdie, but you're a person, so you can say made by person. Doesn't matter right now on terms of having this text automatically close or not. We're just testing it out to see how it looks. So remember from the start, starts black, moves on to black, switches map in black. Alright, you like that? Slow fade in, map's already scrolling, sound's already happening. Now, how far will it go? Right here, this is how far it goes. And we know our bus stop is right around here. Haha, look at that! Not bad, not bad. So we could delay this more, but I do want my credits to appear slowly. So I think what I'm going to do in this case is slow this down, and let's make it pretty too. Let's dim it or transparent. I'll do dim it. I want it on the top. Let's center it a little bit more. This one, by the way, felt too off to the right, so let's center it a bit. Yeah, that looks better. Now we want to slowly appear our words. And how do we do that? Well, we can make each letter appear per second, but that's a whole of a long time. Let's do it per quarter of a second, I think. That's much better. Yeah. 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 Mwah, yeah. I'm weird. So it's /period. Alright, and then let's have our credits appear for a few seconds before erasing it. So I want to have it wait for 2 seconds. And then remember this command to make it close automatically. And even though it looks like a travesty here, if you hit preview, that's what we're actually going to see. And it doesn't look too shabby. Now, let's see where it ends us up in. And just in our editor tools, as a fast command, we could hold space to make things move faster. That's still a bit to the right, so I'm going to erase it a little. So where are we in relative to our haha? Okay, so we still see the bus. Alright, it closes and we still see the bus. I like that. I like that a lot. Mwah, yes. You guys are learning some interesting things today. Okay, so the next step that I want to take is I want these students to get off of the bus, and they will all have to start on the same spot, which is right here. Then they will move up, to the right, down, and then disappear into here. Okay, so to do that, we're gonna have to go back into this. I also want to move this a little bit to the left by 1 more space. apply. And now I want the students to get off the bus, but before that they have to all start on the same position, that square I mentioned. So let's set their event location, and they're all students. Oh boy, what's up with this? I got 3 student 1s already. Okay, let's look at him again. Okay, let's rename them bus students. Highlight it, hit enter, hit left, bus. Enter, hit left, BUS, control, enter, control, S, saves it. Okay, back into this, hit enter, hit enter, 2, set event location. Let's look for our bus students. Haha, there you are. And let's have you start right there. And we'll have you face up. Same thing with the other 3 students, so we will control and copy, highlight, hit space so you can edit it. Look for bus student 2, oopsies, bus student 3, and bus student 4. Easy peasy, apply, and next line. So now looking back at our map right here, you'll notice that they're going to start here, and they can't move up because there's a plot of flowers there. So let's make them move left. You're going to move left 1, 2, 3, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. That many times. So we want them all to get off of the bus. However, we don't want them all to get off at the same time. We want one to get off and then the next one to get off. However, you also don't want them to gap too far away. So you gotta find the right amount of time to wait in between each of them that gets off the bus and moves. But before we get into that, let's first set the movement route of each of those events. So bus student 1 is gonna move left 3 times, then move down 4 times. Okay? Now, before we control and copy this into all the others, we want to make sure that weight is unchecked. And we want to look again here, make sure that's 3. 1, 2, 3, down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okie dokie. You're going to notice here that right now, even though they're all right there, these events are still invisible. And we got to change their graphic. So, what will we do here? Well, it's quite obvious, isn't it? We're going to look into here and find change image. And these images are going to be the image of these random students I made. Which is, here's the female, here's the male, choose whichever you want. We'll interchange it. I'm going to do 3 girls and then 1 guy. So it looks like that dude was totally pimping. Who doesn't want to think that he's totally pimping? 2 girls, 3, bus student 3, bus student 4. Let's actually make the first person a dude. So that's why we're like, yeah, look, there's a dude, and then followed by 3 girls. Oh, okay. No innuendos there. I'm kidding. Have fun when you go his program. Just have fun with it. Alright, so the way we have it coded right now, because there's no wait for completion, they're all going to move at the same time. And if we were to check off wait for completion, they would go through this entire cycle before having the next one move, which is too slow. We don't want that. So let's instead have it wait for 30 frames, half a second, before having the next event change into a female and then making through its movements. Does that make sense? So the last thing we will want to do actually is for each of these, we want to change their image to none to simulate that they went into the building. And when I say that, this is what it means. So if we were to look at this, you're going to start here. You're going to change their graphics into a person, move, end up here, and then you're going to turn invisible to make it look like that they entered this building. Makes sense, right? So it will wait for another 30 frames in between each person. And then if we hit OK, Control R for run, space for yes. Scratch yourself if you're itchy. I'm kidding. New game. Take your finger, hold on to space so that it moves slightly bit faster. And then take your finger off. Whoa! Wait, they're frozen. Why are they frozen? Well, you guys are actually gonna see why. So, if you guys look at this, you'll come to notice that, hey, their priority are all below. And what's this? This one's priority is also below. And because of that, they're each on the same layer, and then they're colliding into one into another. And that's a problem. So, what can you do here? Yeah, you can change the priority of one of them, or rather instead, you could go back into your event here, and then hit space here, and make it so that these characters start off through, or they're invisible per se, such that they can walk through events and walk through buildings. You can also alternatively put them here. So there's many ways you can do this, and that's one of the great things about programming. So you always have different options, and you can choose whichever one you like best. And because of that, I believe the first one was through off. So this way you could get a visual idea of how it works. And I also noticed that I forgot to change the image to none for the rest of them. So let's go through that. One way to do it, edit this, Control copy, OK it, space, Control paste, space, Control paste, that sounds funny. Highlight, hit space, go to the bottom, Control V, that pastes. Highlight, space, very bottom, Control V, OK, apply. And now Control S, Control R, and we'll check it out. Oh, there they are. Well, what do you know? It works. Ain't that a little bit nice? So, now let's have, after the last student disappears, the bus will wait for maybe half a second, and then carry on its way. The way that we'll do this is that, note how these students have a 30-second break in between of each other. Instead, since the bus is broken into 4 tiles, we actually want to move them all at the same time. Otherwise, it looks like one piece just moves on ahead, and then the bus just like divided into 4 pieces, and it looks weird. We don't want that. We don't want it to look weird. We want it to look normal. So, what we're gonna do here is all the way at the bottom, where we're gonna set the motion of our buses. We're gonna enter, set movement routes for a bus. Here's our bus. Right here, here's our bus. And they're each gonna move the exact same tiles or the exact same commands, and then it'll give the visionary image of it just driving away as one whole unit. Okay? So, hit OK here, hit apply, move this off to the left a bit so we get a better view of what's going on here. Scroll down a little. Okay, so what we're going to have him do is go lower right and then drive off. I think that makes sense. You could go another lower right if you want. I'll just do it once though. So, where's our bus? Check off wait for completion because we're all moving at the same time. Let's go lower left and then left. Just a random amount of times. It doesn't even matter how many times you put it. Just as long as it's equal for all other events of the bus. Control copy, paste, paste, paste. So that there's 4 of them because 4 tiles is equivalent to that one bus. Check off for all of its spots. Spotisa. Has 4 spotisas. Okay, So now you'll see we got UR, UL, LL, LR. Okay, that's good. Hit OK. Control S for save, Control R for run, and let's make sure our bus works nicely. Hello, students. Ah! Ah! One of the bus pieces is moving by itself. Why is it doing this? Oh my god. Well, let's check out, see what's wrong. Okay, so here's what's up. If we look into our bus, we'll notice that none of these are through, nor do they have a direction fix. Well, for direction fix, what that will do for us is it will ensure that the tile does not change its shape, even though it didn't in this case. However, for future cases, we want to ensure that it does not change its shape as it moves on. Now we gotta fix the problem with why only one piece moved and the rest didn't. And the reason for that is because, remember, they're all on the same priority, and because of that, they're all colliding into each other. And this actually creates conflict for the event. It cannot move. So, how will we fix it? We're going to have to make each and every single one of these through. So you guys are probably wondering, how come the top piece moved but the rest didn't? And the reason for that is because this one moved here first, and this one tried to move here, but it kind of conflicted with this one over here. I guess in a way it simulates by moving left first and then down. So when this one tried to move here, it collided into it, and then it decided to just stop. Alright? So now that they're all through, let's see if it actually works. Control R to run. Hold space to make it go faster. Students. Ah! It works, but it attacked the bus. It attacked the students. I also forgot to change this to the upper right. Okay. So, why did it attack the students? Well. That was kind of funny though. It didn't wait long enough. It was supposed to wait for the last person to stop moving, and then the bus waits for half a second and then moves off. So, on the last one, we'll hit wait for completion. So what that means is that this will finish first, and then this next line will activate. And because all of the other ones are already moving before this one move, that's why all the others will be able to simulate, and then the bus will move. So, when we see it, you guys will get a better explanation when you guys see it. I should just stop explaining it and just be like, hey guys, check this out. It'll make sense. See it for yourselves. There we go, students moving. Not getting ran over. It works! I'm kidding. So yep, the bus moves on. Very, very nice and cheesy. I like it. You guys like it? I like it. I like cheesiness. Cheesy intros are very cheesy and nice. Okay, so now that we have our bus moving, let's next make our main character pop out from here and move upward. But let's first ensure that the bus have managed its way over here after the crosswalk, so that he doesn't get hit by the bus too. So have you guys figured out how we will do that? And if he were to say, we'll just do what we did last time and make the bus wait until it finished moving, well, then you're wrong, guys, because it will want to go all this direction before the player can move. That's not what I want. I want the bus to move an appropriate amount of spaces to the left before our main character makes its way onto screen. So, we're going to have to customly create our own wait time, and I already on hand know that it's going to be 240 seconds. So now we can actually make Eric move. Where's Eric? Okay, so very similar to the other ones. Make sure that wait for completion is off. We want to change his graphic into Eric. Where are you, Eric? And he's going to move up, however, how many times up? He's going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times up. So, space to edit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times up. Hit apply there. Now he's moving up. Now we want him to open the door and then go through that door. So, in this case, we want him to be in front of that door first. So we're actually going to have that wait for command completion first. Now, what's the animation for making a door open? Well, if you were to look at this door, check out its graphic, you'll see that it has a little animation that shows that it opens. However, what's the exact command? Remember that each of these lines are actually them changing their facing direction. Okay? And because of that, cancel. We don't want to change the door to a dude. The way it's programmed is by facing a certain direction and waiting an X amount of time. But the easiest way around this is to right click anywhere on the map, hit quick event creation, door, OK it, double click this to open, and now we have this. Control copy it, hit cancel, go back to our main event, master event, paste it below, edit this by changing the event to the door. Is it the door? It is the door. I am correct. It also shows you down here. You see that? Okay. See? 21 start. Alright. So, scroll all the way back down to it. The door. And then, once the door has opened, we want Eric to move up. Control copy. Control paste. Delete Eric and leave but one move up. And then we want to change his graphic to 0. Or we could change his opacity. You could do either or. Either or works. Doesn't matter. I'll do it that way. You guys can do the opacity one. Do it to your liking. More or less. Hold space to make sure that all of this works. Ah, look, we still got that door. We forgot to delete it. Whoopsies. So we know that works. We know the bus works. And let's see when Eric gets out. There he is. Hey, what a rude guy. You forgot to close the door. Well, we'll close that door then. Control copy, control paste. In that door, gotta turn down. Okay, now let's go back over here. Delete this off. Open this up again. Now what I want to do is start fading out the music, fading out the background sound, because we got our B-roll already. And what's going to happen next is a cutscene. So, let's fade out the background music, fade out the background sound. So I'm going to place some fade out of music and then fade out of background sound over here, just because I want to have that little fade out effect as Eric moves on over to the next building, which will give us an idea that we're going to see a next map and that we're going to possibly see a cutscene. Okay? That there is more for personal director-necessity. Yeah. I'm kidding. That's not a word. It's just more for like how you feel as a creator, how you want to direct your scenes. And this is going to take 240 frames. We also want this weight to not be there. And I did 240 because that's going to take 4 seconds, much like how I did for fading in. And last but not least, we want to have the guy get teleported. So last but not least, maybe the screen will fade out before Eric manages his way through the door. Maybe he won't. I personally know he will. But we'll have our transfer here. And if you guys happen to want to make it wait longer, then feel free to enter a wait command prior. So he's actually going to teleport here into this classroom. But remember, we're not Eric just yet. That Eric recreated was an event. Remember you guys, we're still that blank and empty square tile. And our main purpose as of right now is to be, well, a center for the screen. And I guess I'll center us right about here. Doesn't matter. No fade because we're customly doing it. We do not want that to alter anything. So now, Control S for save, Control R for run. Hold on to space, or since this is going to be our final project, or what we assume will be our final project, we'll actually just watch it and let it run for itself. So we could get a better feel of what our audience will see. I've seen this like a bajillion times, but you guys can enjoy it. Just so you know, when you create a game, you're gonna see the same thing a bajillion times. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. That's not awesome. Oh, there he is, Eric. Ah, he opens the door and he manages to close it. Oh, there was a loading thing. That was awkward. But that shouldn't have happened. And typically it won't happen. So let's double check to see that doesn't happen. I'll skip us over to the end. Load screens will occur randomly. Load screens are built into the RPG Maker engine, and we honestly have no control over it. However, what we can do is get rid of that loading, the now loading thing altogether. Okay, did you see that? It slowly flashed over to the next tile, or the next map, and that was strange, that was awkward. We don't want that to happen. So what we're gonna do here is actually employ another wait. Let's wait roughly 60 seconds, one more second. I believe by then the screen will go completely black. And since we know everything prior looks okay, let's speed it up by holding space. Ta-da! Does not awkwardly have that little flash of the next map. And we did it, you guys. We edited and created our very first opening prologue, opening tile card, opening, well, whatever you want to call it. So I hope you guys were able to learn a little bit more on what I would call this timing. Understanding timing of events, understanding when to make something occur, as well as able to direct your own opening. So, you guys, guess what? You got homework. And for your homework, what I want you guys to do is to look into these guys. You will have noticed that during the opening, I believe she was jumping. Yep, she was jumping. And then another person was like moving around. Okay, so I want you guys to be able to create a few more characters somewhere on this map such that the bus will not hit them. Okay, we don't want the bus to hit them. Maybe put them here, maybe put them there, maybe put them here even. I don't know, add a few more characters. That way you can understand how these characters work, how they are created. Take a look at them, look at their base, look at their route. Just understand them. What makes them click, what makes them work. And then create a few of them. Create 2, create 3, how many so you want. And then in the next part, we will learn about dialogue cutscene. Okay? And that's all going to occur here in this school. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. And keep RPG. Oh god, I already regret saying that. Random students, okay? So, you don't have to get too creative with the characters. Did you see Jake? So when it comes to creating cutscene, it's very important to understand your characters, what kind of message you're trying to relay, and above all, if it's the start of the game, to keep your dialogue short and direct. And the reason for that is because in the day of today, nobody enjoys reading. And it's true, I don't really enjoy reading all that much either. When I come to play a